Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Ukraine's president has said that NATO membership is a guarantee of security for his country.
Slava Ukraini!
Inspecting forces in the Azov Sea, Volodymyr Zelensky said Ukraine sees NATO membership as the key to his country's long-term security. Russia says it is withdrawing troops, using this video as an example. However, a senior US official says contrary to this claim, a further 7,000 troops have arrived at Ukraine's borders.
Diplomacy has not yet spoken its last word.
President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, says the EU will remain vigilant until Moscow's words are reflected on the ground.
I commend the efforts of...
Meanwhile, Ukraine's military has accused Russian-backed forces in eastern Ukraine of firing shells at a village in the Luhansk region, hitting a kindergarten. Video released by the National Police of Ukraine showed rescuers, teachers and kindergarten staff leading children out of the building. The video also showed rubble on the floor of a classroom Ukraine police said was hit by a shell. The police said none of the children were injured, but 2 teachers suffered concussion. Officials now say that more than 100 people have died in landslides and flash flooding in the Brazilian city of Petropolis. A mudslide came crashing down through this hillside neighborhood, wiping out everything in its path and creating a valley of mud and rubble. The city, which is located in the mountains north of Rio de Janeiro, was hit by torrential rainfall. Houses in hillside neighborhoods were destroyed and cars swept away as floodwaters raced through the city's streets. Search and rescue teams are combing the mud for survivors. Brazil's National Civil Defense said that 24 people had been rescued alive and more than 30 people were reported missing. President Emmanuel Macron has announced that France and its allies in a European force will withdraw their troops from Mali after almost a decade.
La stabilisation de la zone des trois frontières et le...
It comes a day after the French president hosted a meeting with African and Western leaders in Paris to prepare for the withdrawal. Germany's defense minister said she was skeptical about whether a European Union training mission in Mali could continue. Almost 5,000 French troops are deployed in the Sahel region to combat Islamist insurgencies, with around 2,400 of those located at 3 bases in northern Mali. Mozambique's former president Armando Guebuza has given evidence in a huge corruption trial in which his son is also an accused. Mr. Guebuza, who is the first former president to take the witness stand in a court case in the country, defended his government's decision to secretly borrow $2 billion to finance a fishing fleet. His son is accused of diverting $500 million from the loan, which was not declared to the Mozambican parliament. A 35-year-old British man has been named as the victim of Sydney's first fatal shark attack in nearly 60 years. A friend confirmed Simon Nellis died in the attack on Wednesday. Police have not yet formally identified the victim and his family have not commented. Australian authorities are still searching for the great white shark, with swimmers banned from the water and most city beaches shut. It is the first fatal shark attack in Sydney since 1963. Investors are being urged to vote against a $99 million pay packet awarded to Apple boss Tim Cook last year. Institutional Shareholder Services said it has significant concerns over the size of the award, up from $14.8 million the year before. Mr. Cook, whose net worth is reportedly more than £1 billion, received the pay in shares, salary and for other costs. The 61-year-old said in 2015 that he would give away his entire fortune before he dies. And finally, drone footage shows a sea of lanterns lighting up a Thai temple to commemorate MAKHA BUCHA Day, one of Buddhism's holiest holidays. 1 million lanterns were used, according to a statement from the temple in Pathum Thani province, where the festival was held. MAKHA BUCHA Day commemorates the day when 1,250 monks gathered to be ordained by the Buddha more than 2,500 years ago. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel Studios in Lagos.